Thanks for tuning into EarthWise. Today we're looking at two different communities in Georgia, one large and one small, but both working towards sustainable living and organic farming. So come grow with us. Our first community is known as Serenbe. Developed by Steve and Marie Nygren with the belief that if you want to change the world, you have to start in your own backyard. The couple discovered the property on a weekend outing to introduce their children to the Georgia countryside in 1991. These weekend visits to the country transformed their lives, and 3 years later, they sold their Atlanta home and relocated full-time to Serenbe.
And then in 2000, my daughter and I were on a jog along what was then our property line, and the bulldozer was clearing the forest next to us. And I ran out and I stopped the fellow and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "We've just been hired to clear the trees. I guess they're putting houses here." Oh. And so that was my wake-up call, that being this close to Atlanta, this paradise that we'd come to love was actually threatened. And of course, the immediate reaction is to buy more land. And we started doing that, and I realized that at 1,000 acres, I couldn't keep buying land to protect us, and 1,000 acres really wasn't a protection from urban sprawl as we know it today. And so we stepped back and started meeting with our neighbors. But we started inviting people. My wife kept cooking. People kept showing up for the food. And after a 2-year conversation, we brought consensus to an entire community of 40,000 acres. And we changed the land use. And now Serenbe is being developed as an example on what can do to develop housing and retail in balance with nature rather than in opposition to it.
Absolutely, and you've done an amazing job at it. Every detail is perfect and instantly peaceful as soon as we step foot on the property. But what are some of the programs that you guys use within to kind of develop community?
Well, you think about one thing is for the architecture, we really studied how real towns were developed and what is the authenticity. And it's a lot about form and placement, and so we have a heavy focus on that, and restraint on architecture. So that is sort of the built environment. Then everything is done with environmental standards, if you would imagine, so that we're preserving our resources from the land, water, energy, and it's a natural way to develop. It's the way we developed 80, 90 years ago before we couldn't snap our fingers and have some of these things. The only thing really different is we have fiber optics. Everyone's connected. But other than that, it's very similar to the way we developed years ago.
I'm with Ashley Rogers. She is the farm manager here at Serenbe. Ashley, how long have you been here?
This is my second season, so I'm halfway through my second year.
That's awesome. This is absolutely amazing what you guys have here. So am I right that this is like a full functioning farm,
yes.
Not a co-op at all?
Yeah, no,
wow.
Not a co-op, full functioning farm. We're certified organic. We have 25 acres that the community gave to us. We farm about 8 to 9 acres right now, and that primarily goes to our CSA program. We have about 90 CSA members that we feed.
Wow, that's amazing.
We have a lot of products that we have carry products from the farm, of course. We also have an incredible farm down the road that is Manyfold Farm, and they make incredible sheep's milk cheeses. We carry their eggs, and actually that was probably the first taste of Serenbe that I had when I first came here, was one of their cheeses, and I couldn't believe that it was actually a local, much less domestic cheese. It's gorgeous, their products. And that's what I discovered. You start looking around and seeing other neighbors that may be closer or farther away, but this sort of area over here highlights a lot of local Georgia products. And what happens is you're not getting those through a distributor. Those people are coming here, meeting with me, talking with me, tasting with me, and wanting to know what's working, what they need to be doing, how we can partner, and how we can grow their farm business and our business together. So it's more than just bringing delicious goods to everybody.
And we've moved so away from regional agricultural systems that I believe our food systems is one of the most vulnerable systems. We talk about oil, we talk about water, but actually our food systems, what we're eating and how we're getting it delivered to our tables, is probably one of the most critical things that's affecting our society today. So watching our children, watching people, I've become passionate to demonstrate that there's a simple way to solve this, and we're happy to invite people in to see how vital it is and how wonderful it is to have a lot of the systems like we had years ago, connecting with nature and having a farm right in the community where the kids are growing up, where the people are living.
Near the small town of Guyton, Georgia, is the community of Greenbridge Farm. Much smaller in scale than Serenbe, Greenbridge follows a similar philosophy and is striving to make a difference.
Not everybody has the wherewithal, energy, the ability, and the area to garden. So that this is, each one of the lots is big enough where they can have a pretty sizable garden. So the community garden is going to be, I think, will evolve into the thing that's, we're growing kind of like crops that take a lot of space, you know, like melons and, you know, corn and stuff, big stuff, you know, and then the salad gardens, each lot will have their own salad garden. We produce enough food to easily feed the 12 families that will eventually be here. We've got 6 families now, and the idea is that we'll produce enough from the community garden to provide vegetables and fruit for all the inhabitants here. So the idea is that we are living to communally to collectively reduce our carbon footprint. And I do believe that climate change is real, it's anthropogenic, and we need to do something about it. Now that's not the only purpose. It's also fun to live this way, you know, and food tastes good. So there's it's also a lifestyle that is, you know, enjoyable. But in the process, we're also helping use less, which is really what it's all about. You know, use less, and then future generations have more to utilize, and that's what sustainability means. It's unsustainable to utilize and use up all of our resources.